All right, so today we're going like deep into a world where millions can change hands really easily, and scammers are like always working around hoping to take advantage of people. This is the world of standby letters of credit.
Okay.
SBLCs.
SBLCs.
You've given us some really interesting articles.
Yeah.
One warning about the fraud and another about
Right.
why SBLCs are suddenly making a comeback
Yeah, it's interesting.
in global trade.
The resurgence of SBLCs goes hand in hand with
Right.
the increasing volatility we're seeing like in global markets. It's almost like a counter movement.
Okay.
Yeah. As uncertainty rises, so does the demand for financial instruments that offer security and stability. And SBLCs, with their proven track record and low default rates, they're stepping in to fill that need.
So it's like in the Wild West when folks needed a safe way to transport gold.
Oh.
They turned to armored stagecoaches and trusted sheriffs. So are SBLCs becoming like the financial sheriffs of international trade?
I like that analogy.
Okay.
Yeah, and you're right. That need for trust is essential. Think about it. If you're a business entering into a major international deal, you want some assurances that you'll get paid, even if the other side stumbles. That's where SBLCs come in.
Okay.
They're essentially a guarantee from a bank promising payment to the beneficiary if the applicant, usually the buyer or borrower, defaults on their obligations.
So it's like having a financial safety net built right into the contract.
Precisely.
Okay.
And what makes SBLCs particularly appealing is that they're triggered by non-performance.
Oh.
Unlike a typical letter of credit, which guarantees payment upon successful completion of the contract, an SBLC only kicks in if things go wrong. It's a performance guarantee that provides a level of assurance you don't get with other financial instruments.
This comeback of SBLCs, it's not just about businesses being more cautious in uncertain times, is it?
No, you're right.
There's more to this story than just risk aversion.
Yeah, there are several factors driving this resurgence.
Okay.
First, SBLCs have a low default rate, which makes them attractive to banks. This low risk translates into lower fees compared to other forms of financing, making them a cost-effective solution for businesses. But it goes beyond just economics. The international standardization of SBLCs through guidelines like the ISP 98, which, by the way, celebrated its 25th anniversary this year, has created a universally understood framework that facilitates smoother transactions and fosters a higher level of trust between parties.
So it's like a common language for international finance.
Exactly.
Making everyone feel more comfortable dealing with SBLCs.
Yes, and let's not forget about the role of technology. Integrating SBLCs with systems like SWIFT, the network banks use for international transfers, has made them faster and more reliable. So we're talking quicker processing times, reduced paperwork, and fewer opportunities for errors or delays.
So it's like upgrading from the Pony Express to high-speed internet for your financial transactions.
I like that.
And this increased efficiency is a major reason why we're seeing such a diverse range of use cases for SBLCs.
Absolutely.
They're not just limited to traditional trade deals anymore.
No, they're not.
One of the articles mentioned their use in virtual power purchase agreements, which honestly sounds a bit complicated to me. What exactly are those?
So virtual power purchase agreements, or VPPAs, are contracts where a buyer agrees to purchase renewable energy from a generator at a fixed price over a set period of time. But here's the catch. The energy isn't physically delivered to the buyer. Instead, it's fed into the grid. And the buyer receives the financial benefits associated with that energy production.
So it's like investing in green energy without actually having solar panels on your roof.
And this is where SBLCs play a crucial role. They act as a financial guarantee, assuring both the buyer and the generator that the agreed upon payments will be made, even if one party experiences financial difficulties. This is particularly important in the renewable energy sector, where projects often require significant upfront investment and have long payback periods.
So SBLCs are like the glue holding these complex agreements together, reducing risk and helping to drive the growth of clean energy.
Absolutely.
That's pretty impactful.
It is a prime example of how SBLCs can facilitate innovation and sustainability in sectors that are vital to our future.
Now, I was also surprised to read that some states are actually mandating the use of SBLCs for certain types of transactions.
Okay.
Is that a bit unusual?
It is, but it reflects a growing recognition of the security and stability that SBLCs bring to the table.
Okay.
In certain industries, like construction or waste management, states might require businesses to obtain SBLCs as a way to protect consumers and ensure that projects are completed responsibly.
So it's like a way for governments to add an extra layer of protection for the public.
Precisely. And this growing adoption by governments further underscores the trust and confidence that SBLCs have earned within the financial system.
It's amazing how versatile these SBLCs are.
It is.
From surety companies to insurance giants. Even international banks are utilizing them to back their guarantees.
Yeah.
It seems like they're everywhere.
It really speaks to their adaptability and the confidence they instill in complex financial transactions. They've become a cornerstone of global trade and project finance. And as we discussed earlier, their integration with technology and standardization through international guidelines have only strengthened their appeal.
Right.
But there's another side to this story, one that we need to be very aware of.
You're talking about the potential for fraud.
Yes, unfortunately.
That's what really caught my attention in one of the articles. Like this seemingly secure world of SBLCs also has its share of dark alleys and shady characters.
Unfortunately, that's the reality. While SBLCs offer incredible benefits, their complexity and the large sums of money involved also make them a prime target for scammers.
And that's what we'll be exploring in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We need to understand the risks, expose the tactics these financial predators use, and most importantly, equip ourselves with the knowledge to stay safe and protect our businesses. This isn't just about financial security. It's about safeguarding our reputations.
Absolutely.
And ensuring long-term success in the global marketplace. It's unsettling to think that something as seemingly secure as an SBLC can be exploited by fraudsters. What are we dealing with here? Are we talking about elaborate schemes or just simple forgery?
It can be both, unfortunately. The most straightforward type of fraud involves fake SBLCs, which are essentially counterfeit documents designed to mimic legitimate instruments. These forgeries often lack any real backing from a financial institution and are meant to deceive unsuspecting victims into believing they have a valid financial guarantee.
Wow, it's like counterfeit money for international trade.
Exactly.
I could really shake things up if people lose confidence in the system.
And just as counterfeit currency can undermine a nation's economy, fake SBLCs erode trust in legitimate financial instruments and disrupt the smooth functioning of global trade.
So how can businesses protect themselves? Are there any telltale signs that scream fake SBLC?
One of the first things to scrutinize is the issuer. Scammers often try to pass off fake SBLCs as being issued by well-known reputable banks. Thorough research is crucial here. If the issuing bank has a flimsy online presence, can't be found on any reputable financial listings, or if their website looks suspiciously amateur, those are major red flags.
It's like those phishing emails that try to mimic legitimate institutions, but are riddled with grammatical errors and suspicious links. If something feels off, it probably is.
You're absolutely right. Always trust your instincts. In the world of finance, especially when dealing with large sums of money, it pays to be skeptical. If an offer seems too good to be true, or if the other party is pushing you to make a quick decision without proper due diligence, it's a sign to slow down and proceed with extreme caution.
The article also mentioned something called overvalued SBLCs. What exactly does that entail?
Overvalued SBLCs are another cunning tactic. It's used by fraudsters. They'll present an SBLC that claims to be worth far more than the actual underlying contract. Imagine a scenario where you're importing drugs worth $1 million, but the SBLC you receive claims to guarantee $5 million. This discrepancy creates a false sense of security, leading you to believe you have a much larger safety net than you actually do.
So it's all about meticulous verification then, ensuring every detail aligns with the contract.
Exactly.
And independently verifying the value of the SBLC is crucial.
Due diligence is paramount.
Okay.
You can't afford to take anything at face value.
Right.
Scrutinize the transaction terms carefully. Watch out for vague language.
Okay.
And if anything seems inconsistent with standard industry practices, don't hesitate to raise questions and demand clarification.
Okay.
Remember, transparency is your best friend in these situations.
Now, this all sounds quite alarming.
Yeah.
But the scariest thing I read about was advance fee fraud. It sounds like something straight out of a financial thriller.
Unfortunately, it's a very real threat.
Yeah.
And you're right, it can be incredibly damaging. Advance fee fraud involves scammers luring victims into paying hefty sums up front under the guise of processing fees, insurance costs, administrative charges, or other fabricated expenses.
It preys on that eagerness to close the deal quickly, doesn't it?
Yes.
You get so focused on the potential profits that you overlook the red flags.
That's exactly it. Scammers exploit that sense of urgency to bypass proper due diligence. They might even create a sense of scarcity by claiming it's a limited time offer, pressuring you to act before you have a chance to think things through. And once they have your money, they disappear.
Wow.
Leaving you with nothing but an empty promise and a significant financial loss.
It reminds me of those investment scams that promise astronomical returns with minimal risk. If something sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
A good rule of thumb is if you're being asked to pay a large sum up front for something that should be a standard part of the process run. Legitimate SBLC transactions rarely involve substantial upfront costs.
So what specific red flags should set off alarm bells when it comes to these advance fee scams?
First and foremost, be wary of excessively high fees.
Okay.
Always compare the requested fees with industry norms.
Right.
You can consult with industry experts or organizations like the International Chamber of Commerce for guidance on typical fee structures. If what you're being asked to pay is significantly higher, that's a major red flag.
And what about the use of escrow accounts? I know they're common in real estate transactions to protect both parties. Do they play a role in SBLCs as well?
Yes, absolutely. Escrow accounts are a vital safeguard in legitimate SBLC transactions. They provide a neutral third party to hold the funds until the SBLC is verified and delivered, protecting both the buyer and the seller. If the other party refuses to use an escrow service and insists on direct transfers of funds, consider that a giant red flag. They're likely trying to avoid any form of independent oversight or accountability, which is a huge warning sign.
So transparency and a willingness to engage with independent verification are key indicators of a legitimate transaction.
Don't be afraid to ask detailed questions about the fees. Demand clear documentation and insist on thorough explanations. If the other party gets evasive, refuses to provide detailed answers, or tries to pressure you into making a hasty decision, those are clear signs that something is amiss.
It's chilling to think that even with all the safeguards in place, someone could still fall victim to these scams.
It happens, unfortunately.
What happens if you find yourself in that unfortunate situation? What steps can you take to protect yourself and potentially recover your losses?
The most important thing is to act swiftly. The moment you suspect fraud, immediately report it to the authorities. This includes your local law enforcement agencies, as well as international organizations like Interpol and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCM.
I imagine navigating the legal complexities of international financial crime can be daunting.
It can be.
Would you recommend seeking legal counsel?
Absolutely.
Specializing in this area?
A lawyer with expertise in international financial crime can be an invaluable asset. They can guide you through the legal process, explore options for recovering your funds, and help protect your business's reputation, which is often a casualty in these situations.
It's a stark reminder that the damage extends far beyond just the financial loss.
Absolutely.
Rebuilding trust and restoring your company's image can be a long and challenging process.
That's why prevention is key. Robust due diligence, thorough vetting of all parties involved, and a healthy dose of skepticism are your best defenses against these sophisticated scams. And it's not a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process.
Sure.
Staying informed about industry trends, regulatory changes, and emerging fraud patterns is crucial to staying one step ahead of the scammers.
It's a constant game of cat and mouse in the financial world.
It is.
But knowledge is power, as they say. The more we understand about the intricacies of SBLCs, the better equipped we are to navigate the risks.
Absolutely.
And harness their power for legitimate business growth.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
We've talked extensively about the risks.
Right.
But what about the best practices for using SBLCs safely and effectively?
That's a great point, and it's exactly what we'll delve into in the final part of our deep dive. We'll explore the role of regulatory oversight industry standards and the importance of working with reputable financial institutions to ensure secure and compliant SBLC transactions.
We've certainly uncovered a lot about the potential pitfalls in the world of SBLCs.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that when used correctly, they're a vital instrument for facilitating global trade and driving economic growth.
Absolutely. Think of it like this.
Okay.
We wouldn't abandon air travel just because there's a risk of turbulence, right?
Right.
We learn about safety measures. We trust in the expertise of pilots and air traffic control. And we take precautions to ensure a smooth journey. The same principle applies to SBLCs. By understanding the best practices and working with the right partners, we can navigate the risks effectively and unlock their immense potential.
So let's talk about those best practices. What steps can businesses take to ensure they're engaging in secure and compliant SBLC transactions?
One of the most fundamental safeguards is partnering with reputable financial institutions. This might seem obvious, but you wouldn't believe how many businesses fall prey to scams simply because they fail to properly vet the banks involved.
I guess the allure of a seemingly good deal can sometimes cloud our judgment. We assume that all banks operate with the same level of integrity and adherence to regulations. But that's not always the case, is it?
Unfortunately not. You need to choose a bank with a proven track record in issuing SBLCs. One that demonstrably adheres to international standards and has robust risk management procedures in place. Don't be shy about asking for references, scrutinizing their financial reports, and verifying their credentials with regulatory bodies.
It's almost like choosing a surgeon for a complex medical procedure. You wouldn't simply pick a name at random from the phone book.
Exactly.
You'd research their experience, qualifications, and success rate.
And just like in medicine, clear communication is crucial. Don't hesitate to ask the bank about their specific experience with SBLCs, their internal controls for preventing fraud, and their compliance with relevant regulations like Know Your Customer, KYC, and anti-money laundering rules.
I see it. AML.
AML, got it. I'm curious about those regulations. What role do KYC and AML play in the world of SBLCs?
They're absolutely vital.
Okay.
These regulations require financial institutions to verify the identity of their customers,
okay,
understand the nature of their businesses, and monitor transactions for any suspicious activities that might indicate money laundering or other financial crimes.
So it's not just about protecting the parties directly involved in the SBLC transaction, but also about ensuring the integrity of the entire financial system.
Exactly. It's a collective effort to maintain a transparent and secure environment where legitimate businesses can thrive.
Okay.
And this brings us to another crucial aspect.
Industry standards. Organizations like the International Chamber of Commerce, the ICC, have developed comprehensive rules, such as the Uniform Customs and Practice for Documentary Credits, the UCP and the International Standby Practices, the ISP 98, which we touched upon earlier. These guidelines provide a universally recognized framework for issuing, amending, and transferring SBLCs, promoting consistency, and reducing the risk of ambiguity or misinterpretation.
So adhering to these ICC rules is like speaking a common financial language that everyone understands and trusts.
It streamlines transactions, minimizes disputes, and creates a level playing field where all parties can engage with confidence.
Now, we can't ignore the elephant in the room technology. It's transforming practically every industry,
Right.
and the financial sector is no exception.
Absolutely.
How is technology impacting the world of SBLCs?
That's a great question. We're seeing some exciting developments,
Right.
particularly with the emergence of blockchain technology.
Okay.
Its ability to create a secure, transparent, and tamper-proof record of transactions
Right.
is a game changer for combating fraud and enhancing trust in SBLC transactions.
So instead of relying on paper documents that could be forged or altered,
Right.
we're moving towards a digital system
Yeah.
where the authenticity and history of an SBLC can be easily verified.
That's the idea. Imagine a blockchain-based platform
Okay.
where every step of the SBLC lifecycle, from issuance to amendment to transfer,
Yeah.
is recorded and verifiable.
Okay.
This reduces the risk of fraud, streamlines processing time,
Right.
and creates a level of transparency that's simply not possible
Yeah.
with traditional paper-based systems.
It sounds like blockchain could be the key to unlocking the full potential of SBLCs,
It really could.
making them even more secure, efficient, and accessible
Yeah.
for businesses of all sizes.
It certainly has the potential to revolutionize the way we manage and utilize these instruments. And as this technology continues to evolve,
Yeah.
we can expect to see even more innovative applications
Right.
that benefit both businesses and the global financial system as a whole.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the mechanics of SBLCs and their resurgence in global trade to the dark underbelly of fraud
Yes,
and the best practices for staying safe. It's been quite a journey.
it has a fascinating one.
And I think the biggest takeaway for our listeners is this: knowledge is your most valuable asset.
Absolutely.
The more you understand about the intricacies of these instruments, the better equipped you'll be to navigate the challenges and harness their power for your business's success.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
SBLCs can be incredibly powerful tools for facilitating growth, managing risk, and securing financial stability in an increasingly volatile world.
Absolutely.
But like any powerful tool, they need to be handled with care, knowledge,
Yes.
and a healthy dose of skepticism.
And remember, the world of finance is constantly evolving.
Right.
Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to seek expert advice when needed.
That's great advice, and we'd love to hear from you, our listeners.
Yeah,
Have you encountered SBLCs in your business dealings?
right.
What strategies do you employ to ensure secure and successful transactions?
Yeah, let us know.
Share your insights and experiences. We're always eager to learn from our community.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of finance.